Hey guys, Flegg here from Ethical Property Partners, where we help you to take your property investing to the next level using sophisticated property investing techniques. And in this video, I want to tell you a tool that I learned about 12 years ago, right at the start of my property journey. I was about 1 or 2 years into my property journey, and I came across a book called The Millionaire Next Door. We'll put a link in the show notes to it. In fact, we'll put a link in the show notes to all of my recommended books. I read about a book a week, and the cumulative knowledge and the expertise that you can get from standing on the shoulders of giants is massive. So I'll give you free of charge my entire book list. But this particular book, The Millionaire Next Door, is fantastic. If you're serious about growing your long-term wealth and you want to know how to track that and what long-term wealth really is, what I am going to give you is one tool that, if you only do this once a year, will absolutely transform the trajectory that your own financial health goes on. It's a really good measure of how are you doing in terms of your financial progression, your development from a financial perspective. Most people do very little about this. Most people don't even know how much money they've got in the bank, or if they do know how much money they've got in the bank, they've just got one figure in mind. They don't think of themselves as a business. You should think of yourself and your household as a business. What flows into it every month, what flows out every month, how much is left over, that's a P&L, profit and loss, and also what is on the balance sheet. Now, if you buy a jacuzzi for £15,000, it's not worth £15,000 the day you buy it. It probably drops down to £10,000, and a year later it's worth £5,000. So you can't class assets, or as Robert Kiyosaki calls them, doodads, things that take money out of your pocket every month or take money out of your pocket when you buy them, as assets. But you can create a balance sheet of all of your assets on there, so everything that you own that you could sell for what you could sell them for, as well as all the cash that you have in your bank account, etc. And then you offset that by all your liabilities and what is left over, so all of your mortgages, car loans, secured debts, credit cards, etc. And you put the two together, and whatever's left over is your net worth. Now, the reason I'm talking about net worth is most people don't measure their net worth. They don't even calculate it. You should be. You should be calculating your profit and loss. So how much money have you saved as a household in the last year? How much do you save on an average month? But also, what is your net worth? And how does it compare to a year ago? And the reason I'm doing this particular episode on my birthday is because you should be comparing to a year ago, to 5 years ago, to 10 years ago. Now, when I look back at my journey over the last decade, nearly decade and a half now of property investing, and I can look back a decade and a half to when I was a secondary school science teacher, my financial health has improved no end. It's massively improved because I've focused on it, and because I've tracked it, and because I've taken conscious decisions to improve my financial situation. If you don't know your monthly cash flow, how much you make as a household, how much you lose as a household each month, if you don't know your net worth, then go work those out. But here's the powerful equation that I've learned from The Millionaire Next Door, and that I'm going to encourage you to look at just once a year. It'll make all the difference. Now, if you want to work on it once a quarter, that will blow your results out of the sky, because what gets focused on improves. What gets measured improves. So, this is the equation from The Millionaire Next Door, not mine. These guys have spent decades working this out by interviewing millionaires. The Millionaire Next Door is about all the people in America who are very, very wealthy, but you'd never know it to look at them, as well as all the people that look like they're very, very wealthy, but actually are only 1 or 2 paychecks away from bankruptcy. They have 3 classes of people: prodigious accumulators of wealth, average accumulators of wealth, and underachieving accumulators of wealth. And in a nutshell, the way you work this out is you take your age and you multiply that by your realized income. So how much money flowed into your household in the last 12 months, so your annual realized income, and then you divide that by 10. That is the average accumulator of wealth's net worth. And you compare your net worth to that figure, which is fascinating because prodigious accumulators of wealth are at least double that number. However, If they have less than half, then you're an underachieving accumulator of wealth. And all I'm encouraging you to do is to track your net worth annually or quarterly, whichever you prefer, against that formula, and it will be so enlightening to you. Go and do it now. It'll take you like 10 minutes. And if it takes you an hour, then you really need to do this exercise, because you don't know your numbers. You don't know what your income is. You don't know what your expenditure is. You don't know what your net worth is. How can you not know what your pension pots are worth? How can you not know how much money you've got in ISAs? How can you not know the values of your real estate? How can you not know the crucial, some people who don't even know what their realised income is, especially if they're self-employed or have their own business. How do you not know what you paid yourself in the last 12 months? And don't feel bad if you don't. Loads of people don't. But here's the thing. As soon as you start measuring it, it starts to improve. Do you think that footballers would be nearly as good as they are now if it just remained a game that was played in the park with jumpers for goalposts and no one keeping score? Of course not, because we have leagues, because we have World Cups, because we have championships. The scorekeeping is what drives people to improve, and that's why we have world-class footballers and not just lots of blokes kicking the ball around in the local parks. Guys, if you've enjoyed this episode, hit the subscribe button, click the notification bell, and I'll see you at our next episode. Until then, happy investing.